All right, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going over angle grinders. And these are pretty much the tippy top of the line of angle grinders. They're not going to be doing any grinding or anything like that. We're just talking about all the other things that a lot of people don't talk about: ergonomics, safety, warranty, durability, all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, here's what we're going to be testing. We have two angle grinders from Milwaukee. Let's just go in order. We have a Bosch Pro Factor over there. That's a 5 to 6 inch. We have a Metabo, not HPT, but Metabo flathead, and that is also a 5 inch. Then we have a Milwaukee Fuel 4.5 to 6 inch. Then we have a Metabo HPT, that's a 4.5 inch, and then we have a Milwaukee 4.5 to 5 inch angle grinder. Now, if you're new to angle grinders, you don't know what I'm talking about when I say 4 to 6 and 5 and 4.5. That is the size of the disc that they can handle. So the Bosch is anywhere between 4.5 inches to 6 inches, and the Metabo holds 5 inch blades, 5 inch wheels, and so forth. Now, we can see right here that they all have varying lengths, and that I don't know if it was really showing up well on the film, but the Milwaukee 4.5 to 6 inch is by far the longest, but it also holds, I was going to say it holds the biggest wheels, but it doesn't, because the Bosch also holds the same size. And again, the Bosch with the battery on is significantly shorter. Now, when it comes to these three, these are all sporting 8 amp hour high output batteries. Okay, so we have the high output from Milwaukee, we had the high output from Metabo, and we had the high output from Bosch. So the Bosch is coming in smaller. Next up, we have the Metabo, and the interesting thing about the Metabo, this isn't your normal angle grinder because it's the flathead. So this is designed to be longer so it can get into tighter spaces. That's kind of a specialty grinder. Really, the other one will be shorter, and then the Metabo would be the shortest one out of the bunch. Kind of a bit of an unfair comparison. But the thing that I really want to go over with you guys is how these things feel in your hand. That's going to be very important when it comes to safety. The other thing I want to go over are their brakes. All of these are going to get the job done, okay? But some of them are going to feel a little different and sport different safety features than the others. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and prop up the camera and let's get to testing the safety stuff out. All right, so we don't quite have everyone in the shot, but first off, let's talk about the ergonomics first. So first up is the Bosch. So first I want to say, I know I don't have a wheel in this, and I'm going to talk about how they feel in your hand with the weight and everything. But these wheels, this wheel is what I'm going to use, and it doesn't weigh that much. And then the one that's in the Metabo is a flat disc. They don't weigh anything. It's not like they weigh a pound or anything. You're not going to really notice that much. Now, if there were bigger wheels, you would notice the weight. First off, I want to say that some of these you may notice the handles are some are straight and some are tilted. Personally, I like the Bosch's handle the most. It's slightly tilted, and it feels the best in your hand. Then you also see that my hand can grip the entire handle, and it's perfect. It's not overlapping up here or down here, anything like that. Has a good grip right there, and frankly, out of the bunch, it feels the lightest. The Metabo also has a good feel, and it feels very similar to the Bosch, but it doesn't feel as good because the whole body is one size, and that it just doesn't feel as good, frankly. I would prefer to have something a little slimmer here, and I have a better grip. And then you also notice that it's all plastic. There's no rubber except for here, which is a little strange. And that does kind of help with grip. It helps prevent your hand from sliding, but your fingers still kind of slide a little bit. And when it comes to these grinders, you want to make sure you have a really solid grip. But this could be nullified because you'll be wearing gloves. But again, this could be slimmer. Moving on to the Milwaukee here, again, my hand fits the whole part. Well, I forgot to actually talk about the handle. The handle is straight on this, and it feels good. But again, the slightly angled Bosch feels the best. So I like the slight angle, and then I like them straight. So now the Milwaukee also has a straight handle. And again, over here, it's all grip pretty much all around. And this feels really good in your hand. And getting to the switch feels pretty good. We'll get to that, but this is a little counterintuitive to me. You'll get used to it, but it's a little counterintuitive. Next up, we have the Metabo HPT, and the handle on this one is super angled, and I don't like it. Not only that, you see it's a very small area for your hand. It's like made for babies or something, because I don't like how my hands, my index finger and my thumb rise up over this bulky part. It feels okay if you didn't touch anything else. You'd be fine with this if this is all you had, but I don't like it. Like, this feels the worst in your hand out of the whole bunch. And finally, we have the smaller Milwaukee, which actually feels pretty good. I think out of all of them, this might feel the best. I like the straight handle. Whoa, it's not totally tight, but this also feels good. But again, it's still not perfect because you see my hand covers the dust shroud. You know, this filter for dust. So generally that's where it's breathing, and it's breathing on the other side, but you know, my hand is covering that up. So that's something to also keep in mind. With this one, it's less covered. It's still a little bit covered, but it's less covered because the tool is longer. The Metabo, you don't have to worry about that. It's breathing down here, and the Metabo also is rotatable, so you don't have to, you know, you can move the battery out of the way to fit in better spots. And with the Bosch, it's also down here in the base. And, you know, overall, I think this probably has the best design, this Bosch Pro Factor. Next up, I want to go over the brakes on all of these and how they turn on. So first up, since this is the one I'm going to test the brake with using this 4.5-inch grinding wheel. And since it's on the Metabo HPT, this is what we're going to do first. And also take note of how they sound. So this one is activated by a side switch. You push this down and then push it up, and it switches in place, and you don't have to hold on to anything. That's good for people that grind a lot, and you know, it prevents user fatigue. However, if you drop this thing, run, because it's going to still be spinning, and it can be a little dangerous. So let's go ahead and count the brake. Count how long it takes to stop the disc. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. A little bit over 3 seconds. Let's do it again. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. About 3 seconds. Now we're going to go ahead and change the disc out. I'm going to put it on this Milwaukee. All right, let's retest that, because I just remembered and realized that this is the only one that you can adjust the speed, and it has an auto function as well. So it has a little dial right here, and I actually had it set to 4. can't remember the last thing I was grinding. I think my lawnmower blades, but all right, let's try that again. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Oh, it's still about the same, but that thing was spinning fast. Listen to how it sounds. While I'm changing this out, it might be some people that are new to angle grinders. Just some angle grinder safety. Remove the battery when you're changing out the grinding wheel. Another thing, have gloves on. I'm not doing anything, so it's not going to be sparks or anything. I should still maybe wear gloves just in case I did drop the thing. And also always wear eye protection. All right, now we have this smaller Milwaukee. Let's go ahead and count this. 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6. Jeez. And this is a fuel. Let's try it again. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Wow. Like right at 5 seconds. Weird, because Project Farm did this and his was supposedly stopping the fastest. But again, that depends on the wheel that's on there. And his might have been a side switch. I don't know. This is a paddle switch. So this one you have to hold down, and this has a little lock here. In order to engage it, you have to flip this up and then squeeze it. And that's not bad. I mean, it definitely prevents accidental activation, but I kind of prefer it moving down and then squeezing it as opposed to lifting it up, because without gloves on anyway, which you are not going to do, sometimes it pinches your finger. So there's that. Let's move on to the big boy. Now, while I'm about to put this grinding wheel on, I wanted to show you guys something that all of these change the wheels differently. And it's one of two ways. The big boy Milwaukee, the 4.5 to 6 inch, and the 4.5 to 6 inch Bosch both use the same mechanism. You pop this up, you hold the button down, and you just turn it with your hand. You don't need a tool, which I appreciate. I haven't been using the tool myself. I've just been using my strong fingers. But the Metabo HPT, and the smaller Milwaukee all require the use of some wrench that you have to keep up with. And if you lose this, you have to get some strong fingers. All right, let's go ahead and use the big boy. Let's go. First, we're going to listen to it. Make sure you pay attention to the sound. 1,000, 1,000. Okay, now that was really fast. This one has the rapid stop technology. So that means it has a very aggressive electronic brake, which seems to stop this thing in about 2 seconds, which is the best I've seen. Let's try it again. 1,000, 1,000. Yeah, let's just smidgen over 2 seconds. Very good. Moving on to the Metabo. All right, it's Metabo time. Let's go. Now, to activate this one, it's the same paddle switch, but it's a little different. Instead of having to reach up, you just pull it down and activate it, which is a lot easier to do, but I guess that could cause some accidental activations, but it's easier to do to me. Let's go. 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 3,000. Almost 4 seconds. Let's do it one more time. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4. Oh yeah, right at 4 seconds. I would say it's like 3.9 seconds. An interesting thing about this is the oldest tool out of the bunch. This thing is like 6 or 7 years old. Like, it's super old. This came out like 2016, I believe. There's nothing on the tool, but I do want to say that look at this. That's quite cool. But one thing I wanted you guys to pay attention to was the fact that this starts up slow. It has a slow start feature, so it doesn't jolt you as soon as it comes on. Just pay attention to that one more time. So yeah, it starts off a little slow, then it gradually increases in speed. Now let's try the Bosch. All right, finally, let's try the Bosch. This thing looks so teeny inside this guard. I will say this, as I'm about to turn it on, this switch is really far. It's a far reach. 1, 2. Okay, we gotta do that again. That stopped too fast. Hold on. 1,000, 2,000. Wow. Okay. Yeah. This stops the best. So by far, to me, this is the safest one out of the bunch. I mean, if this, you have in all angle grinders, they have a side switch and then also a paddle shift version. I got the side switch because this is on super duper sale, $99. But I think it's normally like $250 or something like that. But they do have one with the paddle switch, and that will be the safest amongst the bunch. This one also has, to me, the best ergonomics, and it's almost the lightest out of the bunch. It doesn't feel very heavy. I'm really digging this Bosch. Then also, like the Milwaukee, it'll take 4.5 up to 6 inch wheels, so it's the most versatile out of the bunch. Now, out of all of them, obviously the Milwaukee and this Bosch, they're the easiest to remove wheels. Okay, all the other ones you need the wrench, so I would say kind of go for the ones that don't need the wrench. The other thing I wanted to go over was talking about the shield. This shield and how easy or not it was to put this on. Now, the Bosch, all you have to do is push this little lever here and you can rotate it pretty much in any direction you want. and it's going to lock into place. So push this and then rotate it, and it clicks in place. Very, very easy. The Milwaukee is very similar. You push this tab up here, you turn, snap into place. Very, 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 very easy. It was way easier than that. The smaller Milwaukee is also the same. Super easy to do. The Metabo HPT, well, this is not so easy. You got to pull this up, and then, well, it's not that terrible, but then you rotate it. Ow. But then you rotate it. But the thing is, see, this just kind of came off track, it looks like. You know, this is not all that intuitive and as easy as the other ones, but it's not terrible. And the Metabo itself, you push this little lever in here, which is kind of difficult to do, and then same deal, you move it, snaps into place. This has a nice grip. This thing is top-notch metal right here. It'll wear on your thumb. I have a little indentation. I don't know if you could see just from them couple of moves. Overall, we're talking about features. Honestly, the Metabo HPT takes the cake for features because it has the adjustable dial here for speed. This also could be plugged into the wall. Unlike all the other ones, you do need an adapter, but it can do that. It's a 36-volt tool. But while those are some cool features, again, I don't like the way this feels in my hand. And then also, this has a 1-year warranty, which is actually quite pitiful compared to everyone else. The Metabo, not Metabo HPT, again, two totally different companies. I do like this swivel function. It's really easy to do, but it doesn't get in the way when you're grinding. It won't move on you while you're grinding. But this is kind of, you know, that's really interesting. I enjoy the flatness of the head so it can get in better and tighter places. This has a 3-year warranty, and it still feels very good in your hand. And for it to be such an old angle grinder, it really keeps up. This one does spin the fastest at 9,500 RPM. This, I believe, this is 8,000 RPM. So again, you got to consider that stuff when it's stopping. This is, I believe, 9,000 RPM. It is, yes, 9,000 RPM. And this Bosch is 8,500 RPM. Now, one cool thing about the Bosch, you can also buy a little adapter that goes in here, and you can reprogram this thing from your phone, from an app. And the adapter is only like $18. I got mine for $18 off of Amazon. Very useful. I have never played with it with this thing. This is brand new to me. It was my first time using it, turning it on. But I look forward to utilizing that. But again, this has way more features than none of the other ones have that. Another thing, you can, for whatever reason, you can actually reverse this. I don't know why you would want to, but you can actually take this off and then flip it so that everything faces up. I would assume that you could do the same thing for all the other ones. It's just 4 screws in the front, but this is actually in the manual and part of your setup. You can flip it around and it tells you that, hey, yeah, this was built to do that, which is interesting. That is not in the manual for any of the others, but again, they all just have those 4 screws there, and I suppose that you could do it for all of them, but again, not really sure why you would, especially with the Metabo. It's unnecessary. You could just turn the battery out, rotate the battery 180 degrees if you need to. This, you might need to do it because the battery is kind of in the way and you need it to be like this, or the opposite. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. I just try to give an unbiased review of everything. I wouldn't recommend the Metabo HPT personally, just because of the warranty, the 1-year warranty, and it doesn't feel good in your hand, which counts for safety. All the Milwaukee angle grinders have 5-year warranties. They have the best warranties. But this Bosch, man, has the best brake, has the best feeling, has lots of features, and they're all pretty much competitively priced. So, you would have to enter into this. Not as popular as Milwaukee or anything like that, but I really like this tool. If you could find a deal that comes with a free battery, or find this on clearance, like I said, this was at clearance at Lowe's for $99.
I would strongly consider that as a choice in the game. So with that said, again, hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.